No,
I was gonna say,
I saw a blue canister, so it's
so you got the Cool Ranch Pringles.
Wait, they do have
Everything bagel, fuck you.
Oh,
okay, they do have Doritos Pringles, so I was
They
thinking
do.
like, do they have Cool Ranch Dorito Pringles?
I don't know, but they should. I don't know. I figured you
Yep.
were just eating plain Pringles, and I was gonna call you a fucking yokel, but whatever.
Well, plain Pringles are fine, but
They are fine.
Not the best Pringles.
Oh,
Okay,
true.
so I just pulled up the Blade 2 IMDb.
Okay.
Okay,
Uh-huh.
and let's just talk about how much of a sick as shit childhood we had,
Uh-huh.
based on the more like this reference in
Oh yeah,
IMDb.
okay.
Okay. So obviously Blade and then Blade Trinity are in there. That's fine. Whatever. For obvious reasons, Hellboy 2. Also,
Sure.
great fucking movies.
Yep.
Yeah.
I'm just playing Sinitude Earl here, by the way.
Underworld,
Yeah. That makes sense.
Pitch Black.
Yeah.
Sure. I can see that. Yeah.
I'm just saying these are sick as shit recommendations from this.
Yeah.
We were blessed.
The algorithm
Chron-
worked for once.
Yes. The Chronicles of Riddick, whatever, that's a whatever movie. I like it, but I'm weird.
I'm still waiting for the third one.
Yeah, me too. Van Helsing, Boston's favorite
Yes.
secret bad
I
movie.
love Van Helsing. It's so campy. It's so good.
Which
Oh.
actor?
Hugh
I don't-
Jackman.
Yeah.
Oh,
Hugh
oh,
Jackman.
okay.
Exactly the same question I asked.
Yep. Which
Which
Van
actor are you talking
Helsing?
about?
Yep.
They have the Van Helsing. They have 2 more Underworld movies, and they have the pièce de résistance,
Queen
the
of the
Mummy
Damned.
and the Mummy Returns.
Those are pretty
Yeah.
good movies.
I thought
Yeah,
it was
the
gonna
mo-
be. I thought it was gonna be Queen of the Damned.
Black Queen of the Damned is a good movie too. It's a bad movie, but that
He
is
didn't-
actually,
Right.
Let me correct
Yeah,
that.
he didn't
That's a
scroll
fucking
far
terrible
enough down.
movie, right?
Yeah.
That's right. That's right. That's the next one.
It's
Oh.
page 2 on the suggestion list.
Yeah.
Probably.
Oh,
Dude,
Fucking
that-
Queen
the
of the Damned.
fucking soundtrack for Queen of the Damned, though, that was
So
Yeah,
that's the
because
thing
it
I
was a
remember the
fucking-
most.
It was new metal as fuck in and
Yeah.
when metal was new. Korn
that's why
did the
we
fucking-
have goth people.
That's right.
Jonathan Davies did the fucking vocal singing for Queen of the Damned. Of course, it had fucking new metal on the soundtrack.
Yep. Oh man. All right, you guys ready to get started?
Yeah.
Sure. Talk about separating the art from the artist. Let's talk about the Vampire Chronicles,
No thanks.
also known as fucking Rice.
Yeah. Oh man. All right. Starting in 3, 2, 1. Welcome back to another episode of That Video Game Podcast, aka TVGP. I'm your host, Boston. Joining me as always is Moonpair
One headphone, good to go.
and the Nymph.
At this point, it's just a slumber party. I
That's
mean,
That's right.
You're not wrong.
Yeah.
All we need to do is crack out the line cables and we're all set.
That's right. That's right. Speaking of, let's talk about our upcoming podcast holiday schedule. If you're a new listener of the show, we have we as hosts have the next 2 weeks off, but the content doesn't stop a flowing. Of course, we still have stuff coming at you. Next week is going to be our Game of the Year episode. Talk about all the cool stuff we played in 2023 and maybe stuff that didn't come out in 2023. And we talk about the games that you all as a community voted as your favorite games of the year, among a whole bunch of other stuff. We just finished recording that. It was long. Please make sure that your podcatcher of choice has enough space. I apologize in advance. So that's
Dude, you do a solid job of compressing. It's fine.
yeah. I now just got to do the chapters. That's the real challenging thing. So that's coming up next
We
week.
are not whatever that NBA podcast Mackie listens to is, who produced like a one podcast and it's like 4 gigs.
That's so funny. I don't know how you have to try to make it that big. I don't even know how they do that. It's impressive. Then the next week after that is going to be 2024 predictions. We'll talk about all the stuff we predicted last year, and then we make all of our probably incorrect predictions for 2024. Alongside that, on December 22nd, so at the end of this current week, if you're listening to the shows coming out, the Dynamic Soundtrack Best of 2023 episode comes out as well. That's real big. So please give your podcatcher some time to download that. I wanted to make sure that all of that music is as high quality as I can deliver it. So give that one a little bit of time. It's also over 3 hours. Cough, cough, cough. Out now is the Game Club of the Year episode where we go through. I did it. I wrote a list here at the top of the sheet of all my talking points. I was
prepping myself.
Yeah.
By the way, I was like, okay.
You had your one more thing sitting there.
Mm-hmm.
That's going to be our ranking episode of the 11 games we played this past year. So that's myself, Moon, and Musum. That episode turned out really well. That's a fun trip every year. So give that a listen to. Our next game is going to be Thirsty Suitors. So that'll be the game we talk about in January. So that'll be for our first 2024 game. And then We Roguelike It is off for the next 2 weeks. So we're taking 2 weeks off on that. We're not. Well, even Isaac needs to take a break in the dungeon every once in a while, and so do we. So that's all the stuff coming out over the next 2 weeks. I told you the content was going to keep flowing, and weren't lying. So if you want even more content than that, head on over to patreon.com/E1M1.
I think the ones are numbers. I'm not sure.
That's right. We have a very special holiday movie exchange episode coming out on Christmas Day itself. That is currently scheduled there, where we're doing a cross-continent exchange that turned out. I think it turned out really well. That's a fun episode to listen to. We've got another production meeting for Critical Misses over there at the $5 or higher tier. The Wayward Sons, which is the Supernatural TV show watchcast that Moon and Nimp are doing. That's going to continue going out at the same time. We've got the Outcast for this episode. Outcast will be out off for the next 2 weeks because we're not going to be here. The Outcast, if you're a brand new listener, is the uncensored outtakes episode where we're kind of talking about everything else that's going on in our life. We talked a lot about the Blade movies this week. So if you want to hear our
randomly,
our takes about Blade, you can listen to that over there. And there's probably more stuff that you get early access to Critical Misses and We Roguelike It. So get all that stuff over there. $5 a month tier, that's the recommended one. That gets you everything. And if your very rich friend is still very rich, tell them it's like $5 million a month, and you will get so many streams out of us. Especially we could promise you we'd do at least one Lethal Company stream. I can make that promise to you if we raise a lot of money. And hear all of us screaming and crying, what is that?
Hey, if you ever get fed up of hearing me say, well, unfortunately, I didn't play a lot of games this week because I did 6 12-hour shifts in a row.
That's right. Tell
your rich friends, and then I can leave that ridiculous job and start this job.
That's right. That's right. So tell your friend, head over to patreon.com/E1M1.
Ones are numbers.
All right, Moon. What have you been playing this past week?
Nothing, because I'm a weirdo. I'm kidding. Because I have a... Why not? Let's just talk about this off the get-go. I played Dreamlight Valley this week.
Yeah, all right.
Cool.
Because they just dropped a patch which allows co-op play.
Yeah, because now it's out of early access. So now you can... Now they got a ton of stuff in there.
Oh.
You need to progress the story to a certain point. I thought you said
Starview. Or not Starfield. No. Jeez.
Stardew.
Yes.
Oh.
Boy, my mind is gone.
End of the year, everyone.
So yeah, apparently you need to make a bunch of progress in order to get the item that allows you to do co-op.
Yep.
I had not made that said progress.
Oh, okay.
So now I have plants in a cave waiting to grow so I can open a door.
That quest. Yep. That's a fun one.
That quest.
Yep.
Fun, quote unquote.
It's a little
it's
like
fine. It's a quest. which is more than you can say for most of this game.
It's true. I feel like watching my wife go through that quest and seeing the community be like, hey man, maybe we don't do that again. I feel like they've shied away from doing those as time has gone on, because it's a lot of like, you're doing this one quest and this only quest, and you just gotta wait a long time for these things to grow so you can feed them into a door to progress, and you don't have anything else to do. And it's like, that maybe doesn't feel great if that's the first thing you're doing in Dreamlight Valley for that session.
Yeah.
Yeah, like the because you can plant the plants right there on the ground in front of the door. You're supposed to, in front of the statues, I believe.
Oh, sure.
It would be great if they had that one square that the second you planted something in it grew.
Right.
Except, people would exploit that, but whatever. Who cares? It's a Disney game.
Yeah. Single player too. Just let them
make things grow.
Yeah.
That's whatever. So yes, I'm exploring the beach. I'm missing a bunch of upgrades to do a bunch of stuff I would like to do because I haven't progressed the story enough because I barely touched this game.
Right.
So I will end up playing co-op with this with people who have houses that are mansions, places that are That was why I started playing it again, because great, now I can play co-op. Now it gives me a reason to actually play this game, because unlike Stardew, I didn't feel that itch. I did not feel that, ooh, let me make this better. Partially because it's a full 3D thing, but also because the controls are just janky enough to be annoying when it comes to planting and building and everything else.
The thing that stopped me from propelling through that game was I really liked the daily cycle of Dreamlight Valley, where it's like, oh, maybe I'll just do one more day. Well, I said my crops should be done. Maybe I'll just do one more day. Well, I'm at the end of the season. I just 2 more days, and then I'll quit when it's winter. Oh, but now
you mean Stardew, not Dreamlight, right?
Stardew, yeah, sorry. Because I didn't feel that pull playing Dreamlight Valley because
there is no day cycle.
Yeah, there's no cycle to it. So which is, I think, good if you didn't enjoy the pressure of Stardew Valley, because I know some people playing Stardew Valley don't like the pressure of the clock is ticking. You need to kind of keep progressing. So, but that really didn't hold the same appeal for me.
The player's energy in this bothers me too, where it's like, why? What's the point?
Right.
You're just making me eat a carrot, or you're making me go and stand in my house long enough to open the door, turn around and open and go back out again to refill my energy.
It's weird because it has all these trappings of a mobile game. It has all of this stuff that's like, oh yeah, that's just mobile game stuff, but it's not. It's it's a full-priced game. None of this stuff is inherently bad. It's just kind of annoying.
Well, the team that made it is also a mobile game pro. They are the kings of that thing. I can't even remember who it is. I just know their name from every mobile game that I've ever hated. Yes, it is.
Yeah.
But they're pro at that kind of game, which is ironic considering this is not that kind of game. But whatever.
It's a weird thing.
And I can't remember who said it, but someone pointed out on, I think it was on Blue Sky, that if Gameloft have shifted this from a free-to-play game to a full-price game, that should tell you what you need to know about the free-to-play market, because they were the experts at the free-to-play market.
And this seemed primed for a free-to-play game, where it's you got the energy, you got the season passes, you have the event passes,
DLC,
all this stuff.
Yeah,
DLC. They have a expansion pack now for all the expansions that are coming out. It seems like it was primed. That's a really good point of them just being like, yeah, actually, no.
Yeah, if they're not doing it, then you should be afraid of that model, is what I'm saying. Because
it's a good point.
Either they are afraid of it, or they're afraid of what Disney will do to them if they try and lean in that hard into it. So one or the other, it's a question mark.
Mickey's just has a baseball bat. Be like, you gonna make this thing free to play, or are we making more money, buddy?
Where's my money, punk?
That's right.
The mouse has to get paid. We all know that.
So
That's right.
Pay that blood money, man.
That's right.
Uh-huh. I mean, you don't make one of the biggest box office flops that have existed this year without getting that money back from Gameloft. Apparently,
That's right. Someone's got to pay for it.
I kid. The Marvels was fine. Shut up about it. I don't care. Fun. But yeah, Disney Dreamlight Valley, it's fine. Whatever. I haven't even I've only unlocked like 4 people in that game. I'm not getting the house, whatever it's called. I forgot its name.
The in-game one, or like the house from Encanto, or
That's the one. The house
Okay.
from Encanto. Thank you. I'm not getting that house until I start getting more people and figuring out what my layout needs to be.
Right. Yeah, that house is huge.
So,
Sheesh.
yeah, I don't. Whatever. But yeah, it's fine. I played Payday 3 a lot this week. A lot this week. Like, yeah, there's almost no other game I played except for Payday 3 this week.
Nice.
Because I'm obsessed. Hit me up next week for more of the reasons why I love this game.
Right.
I don't know why I've just enjoyed like jumping in and sitting there and doing the Hitman run is the best way I can describe it, where it's like I'm just gonna go into this level and I'm gonna run it, and as soon as I fail, I'm gonna restart it and restart it and restart it and restart it until I get a better idea of everything that's going on in this level.
Oh, sure. You're casing the joint.
And like exactly by blinking myself into an alternate dimension where I didn't case the joint.
That's right.
But suddenly I know what the code is to unlock this door magically somehow.
Joseph Gordon-Levitt.
Yes, I am a genius / straightest detective. I don't know. So one of the reasons I love Payday 3 is because it's half puzzle game, half first person shooter, half heist game. Even though it's ostensibly all a heist game. But like I've been having so much fun with this. Like I played with Rob this week where for whatever reason so when we first started playing this, we were only playing it on normal. Myself, Rob, Justin. This is before Nimp and Pharaoh joined in. We were playing it on normal. It's fine, whatever. And then I started playing it a little bit by myself, and I just bumped it up to hard just to see. It was fine. Hard is not that much of an increased difficulty. Very hard and overkill, completely different aspect, because there's always one of two mutators. There's the guard who has a radio that will never not be radioing. So if you kill him or disable him, you're going to set the alarm off. It's just a matter of time. And then the other modifier is the cameras are indestructible.
Oh, woof.
So you can't shoot the cameras, which makes things challenging to say the least. And
yeah,
learning that is how I started looking into the skill trees. And there is a skill tree that you have that allows you to loop the camera, so that you can put it on a video loop so that it doesn't spot you essentially.
Right.
But you can only do this to 2 cameras at once.
Oh, God.
Some of these levels have like I loaded under the surface or under the surface, whatever you want to say, which is the art level, just to see. And I went into the camera on overkill difficulty. It was like 56 cameras in that level.
Oh my God.
I was like, are you kidding me right now? Like,
Why?
when you're in a camera, it comes up as like little black boxes at the bottom of the screen that you can shift through. Like you move from one camera to the next. And on most levels, it's like a quarter of the screen. On that level, it was the whole screen. It was just black boxes. And it's like, what is going on? Why?
Oh, man.
So I was like, okay, that's one I'll try later at some point. But I started doing like the diamond heist one to try, and I did that a couple of times just so I feel like we are extremely close. Like myself and Rob, we did the first level. I think it was on overkill difficulty. We only missed on the achievements because I'm an idiot and I didn't get the die pack from going off. I missed one.
Oh, man.
I'm so annoyed. If it wasn't for that, we would have had every single bag and they all would have been cleaned. So the one that you have on the screen right now, Boston, that is the truck level, which I don't care about because you can't do it in stealth. The alarm goes off and you, no matter what.
Oh, okay.
So I've been working on the diamond heist level to try and get that one a little bit clean, because to make the most money out of the diamond heist level, you have to have the manager in the back so you can open up the retinal scan so you can get into the cleaning facility to get rid of the conflict diamonds, which are included in all of the diamonds you're trying to steal. So you filter them out, you make more money. The downside of that is the manager's in the front of the shop, so you have to figure out a way to get her to the back. And on normal difficulties, it's hard. On the higher difficulties, you have like maybe 3 minutes to do 7 things to get her to be at the back.
Oh, jeez.
Which I can't do by myself. I just can't.
So like 2 people need to operate this Rube Goldberg machine to get her in the right spot?
Yes. And also on top of that, I also need somebody to have a specific skill set so they can steal stuff from the front of the shop without ever alerting the guards, because there is a skill tree in there which lets you do things. As long as you don't have your mask on, you can do things and employees won't bother you. So it's basically like you're a smooth talker. You're like, oh, I'm just inspecting these diamonds as you pick up a giant.
It's just me, Mr. Johnson, here for my business meeting.
Exactly. Well, you can do that while you're unmasked and you maintain stealth. So I need some way to be able to do that, which I can't do by myself, because in order to get the manager at the back fast enough, I need to have my mask on so I can go and do all this other stuff. Which means if I was going to steal from the front of the shop, I would need to like claw machine my way through the civilians and just be like, you come here, get back here in the back of the shop with me. You do the same thing, which is extremely difficult. But like the times, every time I play it, like I'm enjoying just, I don't even care about the cosmetics. I don't care about the unlocks. I'm experimenting with different guns. Like it's just been an overall fun experience of like going through the thing and just pushing at the buttons, seeing what they do.
Right.
In the diamond heist level, which is the level that's loading right now on the live stream, there was a vault, and it took me, myself, Rob, with you as well, Nimp, and with Pharaoh, I'm pretty sure we stole a bunch of stuff from that diamond store, and never once did we open that vault.
Oh, jeez.
Now I know how to open the vault
because I've been issue.
Level.
None of us knew how to get the vault open. So.
Right.
Exactly. So, do you remember in the manager's office there's a button on the table?
Yes, the one that I kept saying I'm going to hit it because it's here and it's red.
Yes. Well, you have to hit that button and it activates the keypad, and then whoever's got the red key card touches it to that, and it opens the vault. That's how you do it.
Oh, where's the red key card?
A guard carries it around 90% of the time.
Oh,
so
okay.
you have to find the guard, even kill him / steal it from him, and then 2 people in place at the same time. If you're playing it solo, you grab a hostage, push a hostage, and they press the button for you. It's so you can do it solo.
Okay.
But it's this whole like cascading chain of events, which I really like, where it's like, if I do this, then this is going to happen, this is going to happen, and this is going to happen. And then the game will throw you a random curveball and be like, no, now it's not. Now something completely different is going to happen. Oh, you think you know this? Now you don't. I did forget to mention that when you get the indestructible camera perks, it changes the cameras.
Oh, no.
So they go from just regular CCTV cameras to like those domed ones on like a triple mount. Like it's really good. It's like, okay, I guess we're doing that now. I know.
Gosh.
Payday 3 is fun. Like, don't be afraid to send me a message if you see me playing it or you want to play it too. As long as it's not too late at night, I will happily jump in and just... Because one of the best things about it is as long as you escape, it doesn't matter. You're making progress. You're making money. You're doing challenges. There's something happening to give you progress.
You're researching skills. And,
Right.
Exactly. There's always something going on, and that's one of my favorite things in roguelikes. It's meta progression. It's like, cool, now I have these 6 more attachments for this gun, and I completed these more challenges, so I'm level 44 or something now, I think. So now I have the sniper rifle as my overkill weapon.
Oh, wow.
Okay.
Let me tell you, that thing destroys fools.
I'll say it was doing work when I had it that one time.
It's insane how good it is. I don't know, Payday 3, I've had so much fun with Payday 3. Y'all should maybe play Payday 3 with me. It's on Game Pass. And they just put out a bunch of DLC, I think, for free, which includes legacy heists. And now there's 2 Payday 2 heists in the game. So there's 2 new heists to do.
Cool.
So I'm just saying, options are there.
Tossing it out there.
My final game this week is Lethal Company.
Yeah.
It's great when I text Justin at like 8 and be like, "Hey, dude, you want to play Lethal Company in an hour?" And he responds at 1:45 in the morning saying, "Hey, I just got your message." It's like, thanks, Justin. I love you, Justin. Next time, respond faster, punk. I'm trying to figure out the way to phrase this. I think one of the big keywords a couple of years ago around the Wildlands era, maybe the Division era as well, was emergent gameplay. It was a marketing buzzword that got thrown around way too much for games that never had it. And I think Lethal Company is probably the best example of that. Because, like, you don't know what's going to happen at any moment, at any given time. Things can go south really quickly, really unexpectedly. And it's never in the same way. It's always unique. It's always different. It's always, oh no, something happened. We went into one map and someone remind me I need to give Rob his props before I finish talking about this game.
Okay.
So we did a whole bunch of different maps. We had successful runs, not successful runs. I was very greedy at one point, and that caused me to be eaten by a tree monster, which is... It is what it is. It picks you up and eats you. Like, it's disgustingly horrible on so many different fronts. So we're having fun. We're having a good time messing around, all that kind of stuff. I think it was that run where I got eaten by the tree monster where, like, I had a bunch of stuff, so I was heading back to the main entrance to leave and go back to the ship. And like, cool, my inventory is full. And as I'm walking down the corridors, I had to make a jump, so I made the jump. On the other side of the jump, there's a flashlight and a walkie-talkie and a pool of blood on the floor.
Oh no!
Good times ahead. Yeah.
And I'm like, there's only 3 of us playing at this point, and I'm like, okay. So then, of course, I'm shouting in the dark to everybody to try and figure out what is going on. Hello. And then I turn a corner and I see the front entrance, and right in front of the front entrance is a flashlight and a walkie-talkie and a pool of blood. And I was like, okay.
All right.
I guess
Something
this
happened.
went real south.
Yeah.
Real quick.
One of my favorite things about Lethal Company 2 is the people that have died are in a separate voice channel from the survivors, so they can hear Moon just being like, hello, hello, and they're just like, he's gonna run across this thing, and then like they get to giggle at him just being like, what is it, wait, what, no,
yeah, throws
100%.
Everything in the air and runs.
Yep.
Yes. So the funny thing is, because of that, I was literally just about to mention that your timing was perfect. Because of that, I'm taking all of my haul back to the ship, and I'm literally saying out loud, "Don't vote to leave. I want to go back and get the stuff. Don't vote to leave, because when you die, you can do this process, this vote to leave. So normally the ship will leave at midnight. No matter what happens at midnight, that ship is leaving that moon. When you die, you have an option to vote to leave, and if everybody who is currently dead votes to leave, the ship leaves in an hour, which is about 3 minutes in the game.
Or whoever gets back to the ship, they can just hit the button and say, all right, we're out of here, if there's anybody still alive.
Exactly. So you can go and you can do the vote to leave thing. So I'm saying to everybody, like, don't vote to leave. I want to go get the walkie-talkies and the flashlights because we need them. So
and they cost you money out of your pool.
Exactly, out of your earnings. So that whole thing happens. I get myself killed by a tree ant or whatever. I literally got like, it felt like I was getting nailed to the wall because the second we all respawned, I'm standing there and I've got two people pointing at me going, why did you do this? Why did you do this?
How could you possibly?
We had like $800 worth of
You
stuff, and
fool!
because you died, lost it all. It's like, because I died or because we all died?
That's right.
Because that's the problem.
Who died first?
Not just me.
Left me alone,
I
huh?
Can't blame the dead. You left.
That's right.
A different time, it was great because the only person alive was Rob. So we were playing with Ash, and Ash is not great at jumping on mouse and keyboard, or the controls are not great on controller either yet, to be honest. So we're all exploring, and Ash makes it over a hole. So basically, the set areas will have walkways. There'll be like a not a 2x4, but like an eye bar, like a reinforcement eye bar, sticking over this hole. So you have to stand on that and jump to the gap in the fence to make it to the next area. Ash jumps over the hole. It's like, woo! And I was like, oh, you made the jump. That makes a change. And then as I'm walking away, I just say, oh. Just, they didn't make it over the fence. They made the gap, but they didn't make it over the fence to get back onto actual relative safety.
As the worst part about this game is hearing somebody like saying like, "Oh, I made," and then it just cuts off, or like off in the distance, someone just going, "Ah!" and then it just ends, and you're like, "Oh, I don't know where that came from, but I need to run hopefully the other way."
Yep. My favorite part of that is when you're using the walkie-talkie, it just does static. It just goes.
It's so good.
If you get killed while you're using the walkie-talkie, it's like, man. They're dead, unfortunately. So this other time, like myself and Ash died, and so we were spectating, talking about how we died. And Rob he's got a bunch of stuff. He's taking it back to the ship, and he gets in the ship, and he checks the cameras on the ship, and he's like, okay, there's no movement there. So I think everybody's dead. And his character just looks up at the ceiling and he says out loud, if you can hear me from beyond the grave and you're dead, vote! So we all voted, and he was like, thank you!
That's great.
I don't know. It's just, there's something stupid about this game. Like, actually, let me correct that. There's a lot stupid about this game. But there's just the unmitigated disaster, which is just us all having fun. Yeah. We got the jetpack because it was on sale and I wanted to see how it works. That does not control anywhere near the way you think it would.
Yep.
I broke my legs several times and I almost died.
I'll say it sounds like it's working as intended. So.
Yep. Yeah,
I've been watching a lot of this. One of my favorite YouTubers, Northern Lion, has been playing it a lot, and I've been watching them. And it's just
Ray Narvaez Jr. for me.
Yeah, and it's the like level of chaos that this game generates out of so few. This game doesn't really have a lot of stuff in it, but it uses all of it really intelligently to make the most chaos out of so few things. And just like, number one, I have the music from the little shop thing that drops, the like do your ears hang low thing. It has been stuck in my head like every single day.
So here's a fun one. Because it's Christmas and they just released a patch, he replaced the lights on the thing with the tree lights going up to a little really star on the top.
I haven't seen that yet.
And now it plays "We Wish You a Merry Christmas" in the same tones.
That's great. And I also love watching people play this game because as soon as they see a monster or something, everybody turns into panic like
every time.
No, they turn into like the best horror voice actor ever of just like, it's here, run away. Like it's just this guttural, chaotic moment. And it's funny every single time.
100%. Like the similar thing happened to us. So part of the thing with this is when you land on the moon, it's randomly generated, procedurally put together, and it's sometimes you just get boned. Sometimes you walk into that first room and you get coil headed. That's what happened to me several times, and it's like whatever, it is what it is. And then other times like you get a decent layout, and so me me and Rob were exploring, and Ash was on the ship looking at the cameras because we all had walkie-talkies, and we figured that might be a good, because we had a lot of stuff. So we left someone on the ship to do an emergency exit just to keep the stuff in case we died. So me and Rob are exploring, and one of the things that you'll see when you're exploring is big metal like doors that are shut.
Yes.
They look like space locks, essentially. They look like locks
they have like
on a spaceship.
A letter and number on them.
Yes, and if you have someone on the ship, if they input that letter and number into the computer, it can open that door for you.
Yep. It also makes a terrifyingly loud noise too.
Yes. So myself and Rob were exploring it, and I'm just standing in front of this door. I was like, Ash, do me a favor, hit C9 for me.
Right.
Nobody did a battleship joke, thank goodness. And so I'm sitting there, it's like, oh, what do you mean hit C9? It's like, go to the computer and hit C9, please.
Yeah.
So they went to the computer, they hit C9, and the door opened. And the door opens, and it's a room full of spider webs and spider legs sticking out from behind this corner.
Close there,
I was like, hit it again, C9 again. And it was just like, and I was like, thank you. I'm not going to do that anymore. We're
Back
good.
to the ship.
I don't need to go into that area anymore. Thanks.
So good.
One of the things that you can pick up is an apparatus. So it's basically a big light bulb. That's the power supply for the building. I didn't know when you pick it up, it gives this big radiation warning. It's like radiation increased, and that's basically the game telling everybody who's not around the person collecting it what they've done.
Sure.
Because what that does is it opens every single one of those metal doors.
Oh no.
And by doing so, it makes the game harder.
Oh boy.
Because behind those metal doors might be monsters.
Right.
Might be, in
my case, a thumper, which is the very loud, very fast, scary thing that will chase you down in a heartbeat.
Jeez. 2
front legs, like a little nibbly tail, except it's not the big mouth thing that runs away from you. That's nice. The thumper is the scary thing that runs at you as fast as it can. And I'm sitting there, we're exploring this area, and Rob finds an apparatus and is like, dude, just don't pick it up yet.
Right.
Let me see what else I can find. Don't pick up that thing yet.
Leave it alone.
It's gonna be bad. And then we're exploring around, but we're far away enough from each other where we can't hear our voices in the proximity chat, so you can't even hear muffles or anything like that. You just can't hear a thing.
Sure.
I know, and I happen to be going around this corner, and there's a big metal door there as the radiation warning pops up on my screen. I'm like, Rob. And that's when I learned that it opens all of the metal doors, because it opened this metal door to a huge long corridor, and right at the end of the corridor was a thumper, which is the brown streetlight thing that will see you. It's got great eyesight, and it runs at you. Its straight line speed is insane. And you'll know it's chasing you because all you hear is like boom, 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 boom as it comes at you. So I'm like, immediately the brown leaves the body and hits the floor. And I turn around and I'm like yelling at the top of my voice, everyone needs to go, like, get out now, so on and so forth. I do little wibblies to the fire exit. I make out the fire exit by like the smallest of margins.
Right.
Ash comes out the door right before me, and I'm like, well, Rob's dead.
Let's go back to the
ship.
ship.
Was a thumper. Let's go back to the ship and let's just take off.
Oh,
and then as we're coming around the side of the building, Rob comes out the front door. He's like, how dare you declare me dead? Because I radioed into the walkie-talkie and he didn't answer because he had 2 hands full because he had the apparatus in his hands.
Sure.
So he couldn't respond, but he could hear what I was saying. It's like, well, I'm sorry, but you just unleashed a thumper on me, so maybe shut up. Like,
this game's great.
It is unbelievable. Like, it's, like I said, it's that type of gameplay, that quote-unquote emergent gameplay, which just happens naturally because the chaos and anarchy of each individual situation.
Yeah.
And it's something that I'm enjoying playing because, like, it makes me laugh. It makes me relax. It makes me have fun. It scares me, which is fine. I like being scared. I played the Blair Witch game, and I need to go and do a pacifist run on that game. Like, and it is broken. It is buggy. It has its issues, and I'm fine with that because it's so charming in everything that it does. I mean, like you said, Boston, the thing that can't be said enough about this game is, like, the lighting is incredible. Like it's
Yeah.
not, it's not ray tracing, but the effects that the lighting has is incredible. There
Right.
can be like dark corridors, and if you don't have a flashlight, you do not want to go down them because they are dark corridors.
Right.
Like the sound design is second to none. Like I can't think of a game that's had such incredible sound design in a long time.
Yeah.
And that's walking outside the ship, from the ship to the place you're going to go steal from, and you'll just hear a rock falling. And the game is so effective that making you paranoid that you wonder what made the rock fall and if you're about to get eaten.
Right.
It's just an ambient sound.
Yeah.
But that doesn't matter. I'm still going to panic.
Oh man.
Oh, it's charming, it's fun, it's incredible in so many different ways. Catch me on a Friday and a Saturday probably playing this game for a while, because it's, I don't know, it has been so much fun to play. And my name on Steam is Moonpure, by the way. Spoiler alert, it's the same thing I use everywhere else.
Hit him up.
Yep. That's all I've been playing. Nimp, have a holly
you
jolly play games.
I will. But did you give Rob the props that you wanted to give him?
Yes, specifically the moment where he said, if you can hear me from beyond the grave.
Right.
Just, like, me and Ash are sitting in the dead people lobby just giggling until, like unbelievable. I'm not even going to talk about the time he jumped over a cliff and then went, bees, in the distance, so it's not quieter as he was running away.
So good.
All right. My list of games this week is fairly short. Tuesday night, Ferror and I played Remnant from the Ashes. We've gone through the subway area, had to deal with more of the stupid rabbit routes. Those are not fun. They always pop up at the most inopportune moment that makes that area difficult. But in being in the subway area, I have earned the revive talent.
Yeah.
Because Ferror keeps dying so much, and she has earned what I have coined the victim talent, because she keeps dying so much.
She's the recipient of the revives.
Yeah, whatever, isn't an issue. But the actual thing is called Will to Live, which is supposed to increase health while you're down. That way it gives more time for me to run around, clear an area, and get to them. Yeah.
Right.
Which, coupled with my revive talent, allows me to revive people a lot faster, which is something that is desperately needed in a lot of situations in this game.
Yeah.
But I still haven't put any points in it because I'm putting it all into health right now.
Yeah.
But as we've been playing, we found out that Ferror has been taking fall damage this entire time, and I have not. And I think it's because my armor is more bulked up than theirs is.
Oh, okay.
So like we were on top of a subway car, and I dropped down, and Ferror drops down, and all I hear is, geez, that took some health. And I'm like, I didn't even get a blip on mine. Yeah.
Right.
This became more apparent when we finally made it to the boss for this area. A main big boss. We are fighting the Cthulhu Int boss.
Yeah. Oh boy.
And I love this boss. It is fun. But Ferror is having issues. They're still trying to get like the dodge mechanic down here.
It's a little weird.
Yeah, and their armor, like I said, we think we figured out that their armor isn't where it should be for this area.
Mm.
So the next time we play, we may have to grind out some materials and stuff so that we can get their armor up to at least being in normal. Because the game has it set where if you go into your inventory, and I think it's Y, if you hit Y, you get like an advanced menu that opens up within the menu, kind of slides over. Excuse me. And in the bottom of that section, it'll tell you your weapons. And there's 3 symbols it usually shows. If there is a white diamond for your weapon or your armor, that means that is the normal level that equipment should be at for this area.
Oh, okay.
If you have a green up arrow, that means that it is overpowered for this area. And if you have red down, that means it is underpowered for the area.
Gotcha.
And I believe Ferror said that their armor was at a red arrow down. So I'm like,
Okay.
yeah, that's gonna cause problems for you because I'm like holding my own against this boss until they're not there anymore, and then everything focuses their attack on me,
Mm.
and it becomes a little much at that point because I'm trying to revive Ferror, and then I'm trying to take out things, and then it starts sending out. We just call them boomers, the things that run at you and
Oh
explode.
my god, they're the worst.
Yeah. So we've been able to get the Ent down to about half health. So we're thinking we just need to get their armor up a little bit more, and we should be good to go.
Yeah.
Angel Eye was going to play, but was having issues with installing, and then eventually just lost all internet again.
Oh, okay.
We went from having a chat to him mid-sentence just disappearing.
There you go.
And then a couple minutes later, we just get a text message saying, I don't have internet anymore.
Bad news, guys.
All right, whatever. So yeah, we are going to work on that boss and hopefully knock it out. Like I said, we're not doing horrible by any stretch. We just got to put a little more into the armor and maybe some weapons. But fire is a lovely thing against wood.
Yeah.
So my last game that I played is Lies of P. Apparently, I just felt like playing Souls-likes all week.
Right.
So last week I talked about how I had stumbled across the Puppet of the Future, which is kind of just an elite, either like an elite enemy or like a mid-boss kind of thing.
Okay.
It has its own named health bar at the bottom like a boss, but it's not an actual boss.
Mm.
So actually this area right here, that's it in the video. If you watch the video right now, you can see what the Puppet of the Future looks like.
It's the very tall thing with the round kind of wrecking ball hands.
Yeah. So you have to go down a ladder to get to it. Go ahead.
Out of curiosity, like this quote unquote puppet of the future, is it like half puppet, half machine? Does it have 2 legs and miniguns for arms?
No, it just.
Apologies. That's a robot joke. That's a RoboCop joke for those of you who didn't get that.
It has 2 legs and 2 arms that end in wrecking balls.
Yeah.
And that's it.
Okay, so it's almost the second thing.
Yeah, and it's like 3 stories tall. So you have to go down a ladder into this like little area that this thing is walking back and forth, and in that area there's corrosive fluid there. So, which that thing is not impacted by at all. So when you are fighting it, you're trying to fight. There's like little bits of land that you can stand on that you're not in the corrosive material, even though it looks like you are. So I was fighting it, trying to stand on one of those. That way it slows down my me proccing that decay stat, and I can keep fighting the stupid thing. And the first time I did it, I ended up getting killed because it did something that I was not expecting. So then I just said, screw it. I'm just going to stand it between its legs and just keep hitting its kneecaps until it goes down.
Right.
And that worked. I eventually took it out. I was like, all right, cool. So I get all the cool stuff there. And then about 45 minutes, like I'm at the end of this area. I fight some other weird thing that's a super pain in the butt. And then I find a lever. I'm like, cool. And I flip the lever. And I hear something happen. I'm like, what's going on? And then walk around and I look down at the same area that I fought that puppet in, and that drained all of that fluid out of that area. Which would have made that fight way easier.
Soulsborne games, all right.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
So once I've beaten that boss, or once I beat the main boss for this area, it now sends me to like this other like back village thing, and this is when all the fun Eldritch horrors start to show up in this game, and this is where it really starts to feel like Bloodborne,
right?
Because it's like I can't tell if these are puppets that I'm fighting or if these are decayed humans that I'm fighting. I'm assuming they're puppets because I'm still getting ergo and weird stuff, but so fighting through all these, I get to a church. And I go through and I see this weird worm thing, and it disappears. I'm like, cool, that's probably the boss.
Right.
And eventually I do find it, and I fight like this thing that looks like a snail at first. Like, all right, that's an interesting boss, whatever. So I fight that boss with the little void spirit puppet that I summoned with me. And then a cutscene happens. And then this turns into a 2-phase boss fight
Oh boy.
that I was not prepared for. I had no healing and like half health.
Oh,
I'm like, oh, this is gonna go great. So basically, the little snail monster cracks open its back shell, and then the worm thing that I saw earlier pops out,
oh no.
and it has an arm with a staff, and its other arm, which basically looks like a wing, and it calls itself the One-Winged Angel.
Yeah. Great.
Boo! Yeah.
I love it.
So I'm fighting this stupid thing, and I'm the way it's kind of set up, you are technically fighting 2 bosses at once. However, whatever front or back side of it you're fighting is the side that actually engages with you.
Oh, okay.
So fighting the one-wing tapeworm thing was very difficult because it's high up off the ground and it only comes down close enough when it's getting ready to attack, and the attacks are very erratic. So excuse me, I moved around to the backside to what was the original first boss that I was fighting, and that has the exact same attack patterns. I'm like, cool, I at least know how to fight this one. I'm going to stick to this side and see if I can figure something out. And I was able to get enough hits in to recharge basically my flask, so that way I could heal health, and I just kept doing that, where I just kept hitting it, refilling the flask, healing, and then I had full health, and I barely pulled off beating that boss, because my Spectre was completely gone, like, within a couple minutes of the second phase starting. Like, like I said, we were woefully ill-prepared for this being a 2-phase fight.
Right.
So I was like, all right, cool. I cleared out all this. I'm going to take a break, come back to it, clear out the rest of the area, and now I'm in a new area,
nice.
which is like a little village that looks like it's straight out of Resident Evil 8.
Oh, great.
Yeah. So I go through this area, and I'm not going to get into every nit and gritty with this, but basically make it to the next boss fight of this area. And this is the first boss fight where I was not able to beat it the first time I went in, because it is a group boss fight. You start out,
Is
you
it
fight
also on the smog of this game?
almost,
Oh, wow.
but a little worse.
Oh, no.
So you start out, and there's 4 of them in the arena, and 3 of them disappear, leaving you to fight. The whole group is called like the Black Rabbit Gang. So 3 of them disappear, and you're stuck fighting the one big black rabbit that has like the giant Buster Sword looking thing, and they all call him Big Brother. So they're watching you fight their big brother, and they'll yell and jeer and stuff like that on the sidelines. And once you get the main enemy down to like a certain point in its health, one of the other brothers will step in and start fighting. And I did not know this, and I got that thing down to half health, and all of a sudden I got like 4 of these things that I'm fighting at once. And saving grace, luckily, they do not have boss health bars, and they are treated like normal enemies. So you can circle around them and backstab them and do massive amounts of damage.
Oh, nice.
So that's at least a breather. But I was overwhelmed when they all showed up, because like the Spectre was already dead, and it's the stupid horror movie thing where it's like, okay, the thing that they were focused on just died, so they all just turn around and look at me, and I'm like, I got nothing.
Well, that's it for me.
Yeah, I tried
And
my best.
That reminds me of Hollow Knight, weirdly enough.
Yeah.
So I tried my best, got it down, the main boss down to a quarter health, and I was just wiped out. Like I was just not ready for that.
Right.
So I go back in the second time, like, okay, now that I know that this is going to happen, I can either take this one of 2 ways. I can either just start hitting them as hard as I can, as fast as I can, and hopefully take out a couple of them, which will then ease me into getting to the rest of them, or I can just focus on the main boss. So I slowly started working on the smaller brother because they were faster, and I'm still running around with my greatsword, which is doing tons of damage, but it's a greatsword. It's slow. So I was like, okay, take out the fast thing first. I start working on that, but then while I'm doing that, the Spectre puppet is fighting the main boss and gets them down to the point where a second boss comes down. I'm like, great, we're already over our heads on this. Screw it, I'm just going to focus on the main boss while I've got the Spectre. I start just running at him, doing all this damage to him, and I'm down to, I have 2 healing flasks and half health. And my son is sitting here watching me, and I've got all bosses in play right now. The main boss I have down to half health. I managed to do a crit, so that way I can do a fury attack on him, and that brings him down to low. Like, I'm talking like maybe 3-4 hits. And so I back away from everybody, pump my 2 heals. I'm like, all right, this is it. This is my last resort attack. This is either gonna work or I'm gonna die and I'm gonna be mad. And I rush through them, managed to get 3 hits off on all of them, and then take out the boss. I only had to take out the boss. You don't have to take out the other 3.
Oh, nice.
Thank God, because I took so much damage rushing that boss to take him down. So now I have that boss down. And the cutscene goes, they basically just take his weapon and they disappear in a puff of smoke. And I don't know where they're at. So I'm guessing I'm going to be fighting the remaining 3 at some point, and it's not going to be fun. But I am now at the point now where I have a picture for some reason, that a portrait that has been put up in the hotel. I found this golden tree thing that just showed up. This one alchemist is always talking about how they need a golden coin fruit tree or something. Turns out it's right next to the hotel, and I found it.
Oh.
I don't know what it does, but every 10 in-game minutes, it produces a new fruit, and it can hold up to 8 by itself before you have to, come in and grab them.
Okay.
Besides buying stuff from this one person, I don't know what they're used for, so that'll be interesting to figure out.
Huh.
But it's been a lot of fun. I'm having a lot of fun with this, and
Yeah.
I think there's only like 2 or 3 Souls-likes that I'm like, yeah, I'm really enjoying playing. Like Code Vein was one of them.
Right.
Like, you just, I don't know. It kicks me down, and I'm enjoying it.
Right.
Whereas in like Sekiro, I'm like, I don't know why this isn't working like I feel like it should be, or it doesn't work the way it should. So,
Right.
Whatever. But yeah, Liza P. It is a very great game, and I feel like I'm at that turning point where I'm going to be hitting a boss that's like a major skill check. Because so far, I'm not going to say it was easy at all, because they haven't been, but they're not as difficult as I've been expecting them to be. So
Right.
Yeah, that or I've just gotten way better. I don't know. I doubt that. So yeah, that's all I've been playing this week.
All right, I have a couple games here, but nothing too long to talk about each one. God of War, Ragnarok, Valhalla, the free
free DLC, right?
Free DLC. It's like 15 gigs to download it. I had to do a separate download from the store. It isn't treated as a patch. It's like a separate download. This is the God of War roguelike thing.
Yep.
DLC. Yeah, I was expecting this to be, put it plainly, kind of lame, because I feel like anytime any of these games are like, we're putting in a roguelike mode, it's just like one kind of boring arena after another, and it's just like, oh, now there's 5 enemies. Ooh, there's a boss. He's back. Ooh, now there's 2 bosses.
Is this Ghostwire Tokyo all over again, where it's actually a pretty solid mode?
Yeah, and it actually has way more story, and it's fully voice acted too.
That. Yeah, I was gonna say, because I've been seeing clips of like story moments in God of War, and I'm like, that didn't happen in Ragnarok. What's going on?
Yeah, it's thankfully the game, when you go to start off Valhalla, it's like, hey man, you need to have finished the game, because it takes place after the end of the game, so get to finishing that first if you haven't. I'm not going to spoil anything that happened in Ragnarok, just to
good, because I still need to play it, and I'm waiting for that sick PC port to come out.
Hopefully soon, yeah.
I will admit, I did love the meme that's going around, which is God of War Ragnarok's free God of War's free DLC. The Valhalla is longer than the Call of Duty campaign.
Which
is
probably.
just like, okay.
So far, I'm pretty impressed with this. There are more metagame elements than I was expecting. So if you don't if anyone listening doesn't play roguelikes, metagame usually refers to things where you're kind of upgrading your character or unlocking things that persist between runs. So it's not just you die and you start back from the beginning every time. So there are like upgrades, and there's strength upgrades, and there's clearly areas I can't go to yet and pathways in some of these levels I can't access yet. Hit a big story moment that closed the loop on stuff from God of War 1, which
wait, hold on.
No, the PS2 one. No, the PS2 God of War 1, like the original one, which certainly was not expecting and was shockingly really well done. So I've got more of that to look forward to, I'm expecting. And so far it's really interesting. I think the smartest thing they've done is when you're going up to the front doors of the dungeon, there are 2 pedestals. One of them is your shield, and one of them is some other upgrade. And the game... Excuse me. The game will recommend you one of the upgrades from each one of the pedestals, and you'll get like 10% more materials for using that. And then when you clear the first room in the dungeon, it will give you an option of 2 upgrades. One is usually for a weapon, and one is usually for a power. And then once you pick those, it's going to kind of tailor the rest of your drops to that one you just picked up. So if you picked up an axe upgrade as the very first one, I'm trying not to spoil very much stuff, then the rest of them are going to kind of be frost or axe related the majority of the time. So it's kind of interesting that you don't have to use the build that they're giving you, but you're going to kind of want to anyway, because you're just going to be stronger that way. So far it's a lot of fun. It's much more of a mode than I was expecting. It's kind of justifying itself so far story-wise, which I really wasn't expecting. And it's cool playing this game. One of the first things it tells you is like, hey, might have been a while since you played God of War Ragnarok. We have a whole new menu in the codex to just... here's how you play the game again. It's like, oh, thank God. Because I'm going in, I was like, what's the attack button? Wait, it's not X. Wait, it's not square. Wait, it's not triangle. Oh my God, okay, it's R1 and R2. Okay. Wait, how do I dodge again? They're coming at me. So
it's like when I went back to play 2018, and I'm like, I don't know why I have my equipment set this way, but I'm going to leave it alone in case I break something.
Yep, and thankfully when you start this game, they just wipe all of your gear, and each run you start over with kind of your base level gear, which is nice. So that's cool. I played some more Lego Fortnite. This is kind of my like wind down game recently. I started a new world because I didn't like the default setting. There's 2 modes: survival, which is just kind of your regular thing, or creative, where you have unlimited items, so you can just kind of build and craft and do whatever. The only thing I changed on my new world is I changed... essentially, you don't have to do corpse runs anymore. Because when you would die, because I wandered over and I was like, "What's this icon on the map?" It's a buff dragon. It killed me in 1 shot. It's like, oh, okay. Oh, now I have to go back near that thing to get my backpack with all my stuff. Okay, that's not as fun. So I'm just like getting destroyed by this buff dragon time and time again. So I was like, all right, I'm going to turn that setting off. I'm going to leave everything else as it is. But now every time I die, I just take my backpack and all my stuff back with me, and then I'm good to go. So nothing super huge to talk about so far this week. It's just a lot of like getting back to the point where I was in my other world in this one, and kind of spending time getting my fortifications up and all that stuff. So continues to be really great. I'm still really enjoying it. My last one... Like a Dragon, Gaiden, The Man Who Erased His Name is the full title of this one. I realized that very soon Like a Dragon Infinite Wealth is going to be coming out, and thanks to Sega's trailers for the game, I've already been spoiled on some stuff. It's not like big spoilers, but sort of like, I would have liked to have known that kind of coming into the game. So I already have Infinite Wealth pre-ordered because I want to support the developers and show, like, yes, there are people that want these games in the US. Like, please keep making them. And it has the Infinite Wealth has a physical version, unlike Gaiden. So I want to say, like, yes, we still want physical versions of these things. So I started this game, which is a side story featuring Kiryu that takes place after Yakuza 6 and before Infinite Wealth. By the time I get to Yokohama, in like halfway through the first chapter, it's kind of in the middle of Yakuza Like a Dragon. So based on like the stuff that's in the town and little messages and stuff about what's going on, it's kind of smack dab in the middle of Like a Dragon. And so far, number one, it looks incredible. It is like Yakuza Like a Dragon looked really good, but this looks really, really great. Really, truly outstanding looking. And it's nice to be playing as Kiryu again. It's nice to kind of catch up. They did a little bit of stuff about like the end of what I'm assuming is Yakuza 6, about kind of how Kiryu got to the point he's at now and kind of the situation he's in. And I haven't gotten into too many fights, but he has essentially like a secret agent because of story reasons. And he has a bunch of gadgets that he gets throughout the game. I have like a electric lasso thing that can not only grab and stun enemies, but it can also like pull stuff in the environment to you. So like if you want to pull a barrel to you, you can grab it, pull it to you, and then start hitting dudes with it. So it's so far it's pretty good. I know it's pretty short. I've been talking to Bill Savert about a lot of Yakuza stuff because he's played all these games. He said going through the main story of the game is probably only about 8 hours, so that I should have enough time to kind of knock this out before Infinite Wealth comes out, and because I wasn't going to finish Yakuza 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6 by the time that like the end of January happens, so we'll have to take a detour on some of that stuff for right now. But so far so good. This seems really cool. I know once I finish this game, there's a demo for Infinite Wealth inside of this, but it only unlocks once you finish this. So I'll probably check out a little bit of that to see the new battle system and stuff. Because you can, in Infinite Wealth, you can move where your party members are, kind of like in a little ring before you do an attack. So you can kind of like line them up to like pick something up on their way to go and attack enemies and stuff like that. So not much to talk about there, but it's cool. It's also still kind of a whiplash to say it's the beat 'em up battle system of the old ones. It's not the turn-based ones. So it's interesting, kind of like switching back and forth between these again. So that's Like a Dragon Gaiden, and that's all the games I'm playing this week. Let's take a break.
Yep.
Wonder if they'll ever use like the Valkyria system that they have with like the movement and the attacks with the AP bar.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm curious to see.
It's owned by Sega, so
Yeah, I'm curious to see where the studio was kind of nervous about putting out Yakuza Like a Dragon because it changed the battle system so much, and they weren't expecting people to really like it, and a lot of people really did. Like it's a very good game, so they were sort of saying like, look, if you guys don't like it and it doesn't sell well, then maybe we'll go back to something else. And they're like, okay, you guys like that, so we're just, until everyone gets sick of it, we're just going to keep on keeping on. So yeah. All right, let me open up these trailers and then we'll just do this. I don't think we have enough time to do news stories, so we can just skip those for this week, unfortunately, and then catch back up on it if anything interesting happens while we're gone. Plus, we also sort of need to be done since it's late.
Dude, you can do those news stories in like 3 sentences.
Yeah.
E3's dead. No Naughty Dog Last of Us Online, and Kojima's making a movie.
Yep. There you go. There's your 3 sentences.
I'll challenge myself. We'll do it. We'll do it fast.
Do it
All
in
right.
3 words.
All right, you guys ready?
Yeah.
All right. Starting in 3, 2, 1. Let's talk releases for the week of December 18th, 2023. Terra Nil is coming out for the Switch. This is that game that came out on PC and Netflix on mobile devices. Yeah. That's the reverse city builder game that I liked quite a bit.
I really want to play this.
Yeah.
Like, I really want to play it, but I want it on an Xbox.
Yeah, I'm hoping that this means that it's going to come to other stuff. I could see how you could play it with the controller. It's probably going to be easier to play touchscreen on the Switch, but I thought this was really cool, and I'm hoping it does well on the Switch because that hopefully means that it's going to come to other platforms. Loot River is coming out on PS4 and PS5.
Hey Boston. Tell the people how you feel.
Yeah, this game has the dubious honor of being the only game on We Rogue Like It we stopped playing because we disliked it so much. It has, to be fair to this game, we played it when it was pretty new. The developers have been supporting it quite a bit. They've been patching it a lot. One of the patches did say, hey, we're putting loot in the game now, which...
Oh, yeah. What a shame. How funny. Exactly.
Yeah,
That's
it didn't have loot.
Yeah.
Loot River didn't have loot in it. It launched in a bad spot. So I'm happy to see it coming out to other platforms. I know a bunch of people really like this. I will probably not be trying this again because I didn't click with pretty much any of it, unfortunately. But I'm happy to see that the developers are still working on it. Stuff's still coming out. So, and last but not least, here, Resident Evil 4, the remake comes out on OS X and iOS. This trailer is very funny because it's like, hey, it's coming to all this stuff. Don't forget you can play with the controller. You want to play with the controller on your phone? Yeah. You should play with the controller on your phone. It's like, yes, I get it. I see it. So, I haven't really seen...
just call that the latest Resident Evil game?
Yeah. 4, right?
No.
Yeah. It technically is if you go by the last Resident Evil thing we have ever put out, but you're stretching it a little bit here. I actually haven't seen any reviews or impressions or anything on Resident Evil Village, on how that ran on iOS devices, so I'm assuming it's fine, but I'm assuming no news is good news, so we'll see how this one
Who's
works.
Covering it at that point is the problem.
I mean, there's a lot of like mobile gaming places that cover stuff. Like Touch Arcade, I think, is still one of the bigger ones. But I feel like if it was a real big trash fire, we would have seen a ton of GIFs on Twitter and stuff. It's just like, look at this broken thing. Jeez. From
Kotaku, Resident Evil Village on iPhone is impressive, but not a great way to play.
That's probably about the best you can ask for. If it's literally the only platform you have, you can play it. Sure. All right. Rapid fire news stories. Let's hit it. Number 1, E3 finally dies its last death. Probably for real this time. I think maybe. For really real? For real, maybe.
They put out an announcement on the EAX account, so it has to... sorry, the E3X account, so it has to be true now.
Yeah. Next news story...
Which means...
Yes.
Sorry.
No, go ahead.
I'm adding to the sentences. That means that Danny O'Dwyer's last ever E3 video is the actual last ever E3 video for NoClip.
Wow, that's true. Good on you, Danny. Next news story here. Naughty Dog cancels The Last of Us Online. Bungie told him, it's not really up to snuff. It needs to be better. Then they went back and worked on more of it, and then they said, hey, we don't want to be a live service studio, so we're going to cancel it. Bye.
Yep.
big question here is, what does that mean for Sony's ongoing live service plans after this gets killed and Destiny 2 is circling the drain? Seems bad.
Grumble, grumble, grumble. My predictions. Grumble, grumble, grumble.
That's right.
Check out in 2 weeks.
And last news story here, A24 and Kojima Productions announce Kojima's finally going to make a movie out of his games that are like movies. I love you, Kojima. They're going to make a Death Stranding live-action movie. They have a really good opportunity to do the funniest thing possible by not...
And cast somebody else's Norman Reedus.
Cast somebody else's Norman Reedus. Timothy Chalamet as Norman Reedus as...
Yes, please.
Yep.
Please.
Yep. So I love Death Stranding. I'm going to be watching this with a healthy dose of skepticism and a lot of curiosity just to say, like, what are you guys going to do with it? What is this thing going to be?
Over again.
Yeah.
Come at me when a trailer shows up.
Yep. 100%. All right. That's all of our news stories and releases. We've been recording forever, so we're done. Thank you very much, everyone, for listening.
Are we?
Well, you and I are not, because we still have... We're done with this episode. We have much more. Hey, I can quit whenever I want. I'm going to rank my quits. Yeah. Anyway, don't forget about the production notes we had at the very beginning. We got a bunch of stuff still coming over the next 2 weeks. The next 2 episodes we have coming out are real good. Those are always really fun episodes. I think we put out some really good ones this year. Please go listen to those. Don't forget to watch the video versions of them on YouTube if you'd like to go check those out. Also, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe over on the YouTube channel. That stuff really does help, along with all the other Discovery stuff. And don't forget to send us some of your cash over at patreon.com/E1M1.
The ones and numbers.
You get all the cool stuff that we talked about at the beginning of the episode. You can support us financially. It pays for stuff like hosting, some of our software, some stuff like that. All that stuff just keeps getting more expensive. Yay! Boo! If you can't support us financially, I already talked about how you can help us on YouTube. Rate our show wherever you can. 5 stars out of 5, 10 out of 10. All that stuff would be greatly appreciated. It helps more people find the show, and then that hopefully helps us find a rich patron to help us turn this into a career. Yep. Maybe? Question mark? That would be nice. That would be
a sugar Patreon, if you would.
That's right. Yeah, like a father with some sugar. Yeah, something like that. All right. On that note, thank you very much, everyone, for listening. Thank you all for a wonderful 2023, and we hope we'll see you next week for Game of the Year. Bye.
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 All right, Nib. Titles. Let's go.
All right, I have Stardew Valley or Dreamlight. Or I'm sorry, Stardew or Dreamlight, because I screwed that up, and then we all kept flipping back and forth. Gotta pay that blood money. Sometimes you get coil-headed. The brown leaves the body. It didn't have loot. And a sugar Patreon.
The brown leaves the body. It doesn't have loot. With an interrobang.
Yep.
Of course. All right, Moon, what do you have?
It's a quest, question mark. The mouse has to get paid. Hit C9, please. Bees. And putting loot into the game.
All right. I didn't write any down on mine. So I wrote Stardew or Dreamlight. The brown leaves the body. It doesn't have loot in Terabang. It's a quest, question mark. Hit C9, please.
It doesn't matter to me.
Weakest titles of the year in the final episode of the year.
My votes are probably for the brown leaves the body or it doesn't have loot.
I like the alliteration on brown leaving the body.
Maybe that's why I like it so much.
That would explain it.
Yeah.
I'm cool with that, yeah.
I'm good with that. Circling.
I'm ready.
Yeah.
We have to research how brown leaves the body now? You looking for medical terms here?
Nope, I'm looking for a specific thing. Okay, let's go.
Uh-oh. I don't know. All right. Starting in 3, 2, 1. This is That Video Game Podcast, episode 843 for December 18th, 2023. The brown leaves the body.
I drink milk of magnesia.
Happy holidays, everybody.
Oh, man. All right. Thank you very much, everybody, for listening and watching. We greatly appreciate it. Hope everybody has some happy holidays. I hope you'll enjoy all of these episodes we have queued up for you here throughout the rest of the year. We'll see you
now
back.
Now we get to sleep.
That's right. Now we get to... Well, I still have to edit all of and then I get to sleep, but hopefully soon.
I still have to edit too, dude. Don't even...
No, I'm not.
This
isn't like a misery.
I'm going to sleep.
Yeah, this isn't misery Olympics or
there
anything.
we go.
We got a lot of work, yeah. All right. We'll see you all next year. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.